Hi everyone, this is Dave and welcome to a new live broadcast. In today's broadcast I'm going to be doing a Q&A, an Ask Me Anything Q&A. So if you've got any questions, tech related or not, then now is your chance to ask them. And anything appropriate I will try and answer. A little bit of housekeeping first of all. We have got the live chat feature here ready and waiting for you. So if you've got any questions or comments, pop them in the live chat. If you want your comment highlighted or indeed your question given priority, then there is also the super chat feature there as well. Looks like a little dollar sign and you can help support the channel a little bit. So in today's video, apart from the live Q&A, I'm also going to be taking a look at this. This is the Fossil Q Explorist. This is a Gen 3 smartwatch from Fossil. It's Android Wear, but it does also work with the iPhone as well. The specifications on this are pretty interesting. I'll show you the watch in a short while. Before I show you the actual watch, I'll just let you know that this has got 4 GB of storage inside. It will work with either Google Android or iOS, assuming you're running Google Android 4.3 or later, or iOS 9 or later. And this is a 46mm round watch, so really nice size. Made of stainless steel, quite thick, and you'll see this in a minute, but the screen is absolutely fantastic. You'll be really impressed by the actual quality of the screen in here. And you can get things like notifications on here as well as full-blown applications. It's also got a microphone, so it does voice recognition as well. Auto time and date, of course, little tiny speaker for the audio alarms, and also you've got customizable watch straps. This one happens to be presented on a stainless steel strap. There is a lot you can do with this type of device. I wear, just for the record, a Fitbit Charge 2, which is an activity tracker. This particular smartwatch, of course, also does fitness tracking as well. And I'm going to come back round behind the camera in a short while and actually give you a real close-up look of this. Just to highlight, it does work on iOS and it seems to work extremely well, but you're going to get more functionality because this is an Android Wear watch. You're going to get a lot more functionality if you use it on an Android powered smartphone. But certainly I've got this paired up to my iPhone 7 Plus, and that's running iOS 11.1 I think, and the pairing process was super easy. All of the setup was easy as well, and you can get quite a lot in terms of functionality from an Android Wear watch now in combination with iOS. But certainly if you're running Android, you will get a lot more functionality from this. So let's take a look inside the chat, and hello to everyone for joining in on the live broadcast. I really do appreciate it. We've got lots of cool comments already, and we'll start off with a very quick question before I give you a close-up look of this smartwatch. We have got a question come in from XX Vicitudex. What do you think of the UI on Android as opposed to iOS? And that's a very relevant question because we've got a smartwatch that obviously works with Android or iOS devices. And I've been testing a lot of Android smartphones lately, and this is coming from my perspective as a long-time iPhone user. And the OS and the user interface is pretty much the same. In fact, on the Note 8, which was one of the later smartphones I actually tested, and the Sony Xperia XZ1, I would say the UI is a lot more fluid, a lot less sort of jitter and stutters in the OS because it's sort of optimized a lot more now. And it's all about what you're used to, I think. When I get asked this question a lot, it really is. If you're used to using iOS, you're going to find it hard moving across to Android, or relatively hard. And if you're coming from Android and looking at an iOS device, you'll probably find it less jarring, but certainly a lot less customizable. But certainly the user interface is pretty much not a lot in it, apart from you can customize Android a lot more with things like widgets, put your icons wherever you want, custom launchers, which is something I really appreciate. So it's a really good question. Really very good question. I don't prefer one or the other. But if you've watched my videos regularly over the past few weeks, you'll know that I'm becoming bored of iOS, frustrated of iOS as well because of the crashes and the issues I've got primarily with Mail now. A lot of the other bugs seem to have been ironed out, but there's still rotational issues. There was an issue discussed just recently where an I gets substituted for an A and a little symbol, which is crazy. This is on an iPhone using iOS, so if you were going to actually type that out, it would come out as iPhone, which could be used for not the best sort of abbreviation of how I'm feeling about iOS and the iPhone at the moment. The local Aussie, I have a very bland question, Dave. Apple Watch or Fossil? Well, that's something that maybe after I've shown you this up close and personal, you'll be able to answer for yourself. You'll see the user interface and the functionality, and maybe it will give you the answers you're looking for. Before I come back around the camera, we've got one last comment from Rusby, who has recognised that yes, I have indeed had a haircut. Long time since my last haircut because I just got so busy. But without further ado, let's come back around behind the camera. Let's give you a closer look at the Fossil Q Explorist Smartwatch. So this is what the smartwatch looks like up close and personal. Let me just bring my mic round so you can hear me nice and clearly. So 46mm case on this, and you can see at the moment it's in its sort of sleep state. And what happens is if you raise the watch, then it will actually activate the watch face that you've currently got set, and then it goes back down to this sort of dimmed state to save battery. You can also tap on it to wake up the particular watch face you're using, and this particular one has got a couple of things you can tap on. It's got a little calendar. I've got no event set up at the moment, and then you can swipe that away. The middle one with the activity, frustratingly, you can't tap on, and then you can also tap on your second time zone, and that allows you to set a second time zone. We've also got upcoming events down here as well on this particular time face, and then of course in an orange colour you've got this current time in 24 hour scale. Now also you can push these two pushers. This top one, if I push it at the moment, it allows me to go into My Styles and Share Code. Again, we can swipe that away. The centre button lets you go into your applications, and then we can rotate around the various applications. We've got the fitness app in here, for example, Google Fit, and here it says I've taken 0 steps, when in fact I have taken some. There you go, it's just synchronized across, and it's showing 26 for today, which is inaccurate because I haven't been actually wearing this today. I've been sort of preparing it for the video. And then we can of course swipe that way as well, and then we've got the other applications, of which you can install more as and when you're ready to, and then we can swipe away to go back to the home screen. Now we can also is it left or right, or is it tap and hold? I can't remember now. We've got a tutorial down there. It was allowing me, oh there you go, so it's sort of tap and then swipe to the right allows you to add more watch faces, or going this way allows you to cycle round the ones that you've actually already got installed on the watch. So for example, we've got this one, which is sort of a more classical type watch face, and then we can tap and go into that, change the dial colour, the style, the hand colour, etc. So it's really customizable, and then we can go into this really colourful one, for example. There's some really fun ones, and you can of course install more of these from the iOS or the Android Wear app on your Android smartphone. So plenty of customization. We can also tap this bottom one, although I don't think I've got anything set to that at the moment. This allows you to access the Google Play Store, so we'll swipe that away for now. You need to be connected via Wi-Fi to actually access that. And then you've also got settings as well on the watch. So if I remember rightly, how to get into the settings, I've got to remember there's all these different swipes. I think if we go into the middle one, and then we can go into settings here, this allows you to set your display brightness, which is currently about midway, sound and notifications, apps, gestures, connectivity, accessibility, personalization, and also system settings. So lots and lots of different settings for this particular watch. Now this is a stainless steel, but it's got this like gunmetal finish, which I really like. The bezel isn't turnable, although it looks like a bezel that would rotate, and then it's got this really nice stainless steel bracelet, and then it's got a buckle here which we push this sort of side button in, and this allows you to open up the buckle, and then of course you can adjust the strap. It's got little pins that you can push out to adjust the bracelet. They're not screws, they are actually pins, so you will need a tool to do that with, or get your local jewelers to do it. And there is also some micro adjustment. Not sure how well you're seeing this, but there is some micro adjustment just there, these little holes on the back of the clasp, so you can actually adjust those to give you some finer adjustment than taking out links. So that is pretty much it for the close-ups. I'm really quite impressed with this watch so far. I don't have my Apple Watch anymore, since I was considering actually switching from iOS to Android, which I've got a bit of an update for you in a short while about that. I haven't got my Apple Watch anymore, so when Fossil asked me to take a look at this, I was pleasantly surprised when it actually came through. And what I really like is it's got a very vibrant display, and I like that it's a traditional sort of circular shaped watch. The bracelet is very high quality. I really do like the quality of the bracelet. The lugs as well, and the bevels on the side. We've got a little speaker grill here, but the actual bevels, and it's sort of slightly polished in some areas and then a brushed finish in other areas, are really nicely done. It's a very nice looking watch. Now, with regards to charging the Fossil Q Explorist, you've got a cable here which is USB on one end, and then it's a little magnetic puck style charger, similar in fact to the Apple Watch. So this sort of magnetically goes on the back of the watch. I like that a lot more than having to actually physically plug a cable in to the watch end. Yes, you've still got to plug the USB end in, but I like that this is magnetic and sort of inductive style charging. And it's about, I would say, about 3 foot long cable, so about a metre long cable, so not over generous on the cable length, but certainly good enough. And the performance seems to be really good on this. It sort of goes along at a nice speed. I like the selection of watch faces that are available as well, and all of the complications that you can add in, and it's just a nice looking watch. 12.5mm thick, as I mentioned earlier, so a little bit chunky, and 46mm in size, but I like having a larger face on a smartwatch rather than a smaller one. When I had the Apple Watch, I had the 42mm version. The 38 was too small for me, so I just prefer a bigger or larger display. So I do like it. I think it's a nice quality display. No flat tire on this as well. Uses the full diameter, or the full watch face with no flat tire like we used to get on the round smartwatches. So let's take a look inside the questions and see what questions we got here. Raymond Moore says, very nice watch. I tend to agree with that. David Leach, is battery life an issue, Dave? Tends to be my major issue with smartwatches. Cheers, Dave. Keep up the good work. Well, battery life on this seems to last a whole day. I don't think you wouldn't get 2 days. You'd maybe get a day and a half on this. And I don't think that's an issue. If you invest in a smartwatch just to put it on your bedside cabinet every night to charge it, as long as you can get through an all day sort of use of it, and I say medium to heavy use all day, then I think that's okay. But if you've got a smartwatch that perhaps has got GPS in it and all these other features, and you're not even getting a full day, some of the GPS fitness watches say you get 6 to 7 hours use. Don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's acceptable. But this definitely gets through a whole day, and you might just eke out a day and a half if you're extremely lucky, but I wouldn't go beyond that. Bazza says, the Fossil looks better than my Apple Watch, which I think looks quite boring. Well, that's really good to hear, and I think Fossil will really appreciate that comment. I do think this looks better than the Apple Watch, for the main reason is that it looks like a traditional watch because of the shape of it. The Apple Watch is definitely a piece of technology. This is too, but if you put a traditional style watch face on this, then some people would mistake it for just a normal watch. Dave, what do you think is the best fitness tracker app? I haven't really experimented with that. I've just been using Google Fit on here, or my Fitbit Charge 2, so I can't really answer that question. Sunyu Nas says, get some silicone and leather bands for it. Yeah, this would look really nice on a leather band. And in fact, I should mention this, Fossil do a whole range of smartwatches, And in the Gen 3, and including this Explorist, you can get different options. One of them is available on a leather band, which saves you some money as well. So if you're not a fan of stainless steel, then do that. But these are, and it's really difficult to show on camera, but these are quick release bands as well. So they've got little, you don't need a tool, you just sort of move the notch across and then the band will come off. So that works very well indeed. Jake Phillips says, do you think it's worthwhile getting an Apple Watch if I have a fairly physical job, warehouseman? I was thinking mainly for tracking fitness at work, but I'm worried about it breaking. Well, certainly the very cheapest Apple Watch might not hold out from a battering, so I would go up a step and go to something with a sapphire crystal on top or a harder sort of face. And you can get screen protectors for them. When I had my Apple Watch, I had a screen protector on it. With this one, I know you can get circular screen protectors, so that will protect it a bit. And the stainless steel, although it'll get knocked up maybe, that adds to the character of a watch sometimes. If you're extremely worried about going the full smartwatch route, then consider a fitness tracker. You don't want to be looking at notifications all the time whilst you're at work, or at least I wouldn't. And a fitness tracker is a bit more robust, made primarily of plastic. You can still get screen protectors for these as well. But being a cheaper sort of investment, you can get a decent fitness tracker for around about £60 or £70. Then if you did really bash it up, then get the new one when they come out with a new one each year. Just upgrade. So it's difficult. If you're going to use the full features of a smartwatch, then yeah, it's worth investing in. But if not, then maybe a fitness tracker is the way to go. Techzilla, Dave, quick question. Is 4K video worth recording in to upload to YouTube, or is it overkill? I've had this question quite a lot, and it's quite a simple answer really. If you can afford a 4K video camera and you can do the editing, you've got a computer powerful enough to actually edit 4K video, then why not? Go for it. But what 4K affords you, and this is a very important point which a lot of people overlook, is if you've got a 4K camera and you're recording in 4K resolution or UHD, 3840 by 2160 is the general resolution, then what it allows you to do is you can actually put that video onto a 1080p timeline, and you can actually zoom in up to 4 times without any discernible loss in quality. So that's a really good way of sort of zooming into something, getting nice crisp quality still. It sometimes can be used to make it look as though you've got 2 cameras, because you can then pan across the image as well. So that's got added functionality and added benefits. If you want to upload in 4K, then yeah, of course, things are moving that way. I don't watch any of my YouTube videos or other people's YouTube videos in 4K because it takes up extra bandwidth, and on the size of the screen I'm watching them on, it's good enough in 1080p, and it comes down the broadband service a lot quicker as well. Something else to consider is your upload speed. So if you're uploading in 4K, you're going to be uploading larger files. Something also to consider is if you're producing these larger files, storage. And I talk about storage a lot in my videos. It is a big issue. It is a big issue handling all that storage if you produce a video pretty much every single day. These particular broadcasts, I've got a 4K camera, but I'm doing it in 1080p because of the bandwidth. I'd even considered dropping down to 720p. So it's overkill at the moment, but that will change in the future. Razor 00999 What about the pricing for the watch? This particular one, the Fossil Q Explorist on the stainless steel band, this one comes in at £279 at the moment. On the leather band, I think it's £249 or thereabouts. Techzilla says, what do you think of this Fossil watch compared to the Samsung Gear S3? Don't like the Samsung Gear S3 at all personally. That's just a personal opinion. If you like the style of that, it all depends on your style. A watch is a very personal thing, and I think maybe why this appeals to me is this is one of my traditional watches, and you can see the similarity. Stainless steel band, knurled bezel around the outside, so this is my sort of personal style and what appeals to me. So it really depends what you like the look of. So if you like the look of the Samsung Gear S3 and you're using it maybe with a Samsung smartphone, that might be a better choice. The local Aussie says, Dave, how solid does the watch feel in the hand? Does it have some decent weight to it and not feeling like it will break? this has got a real nice weight to it. It's a very chunky watch. The bracelet, which often manufacturers really do skimp out on, this is often the cheap, overlooked part. This feels really nice quality, and we got brushed links and then polished sides on this. I think the only way they could have improved this even further is where we've got pins that you take out to adjust the links. If they would have been screwed pins, so ones that you actually, tiny little screws you take out, that would have been the icing on the cake. But the buckle is really nice. That's also brushed on the outside and just the buttons polished. It's a really nice looking watch. Very, very nice indeed. I do like the sort of gunmetal coloured finish to this as well. So yeah, it feels really solid and very, very well made. Techzilla says, I'm with you. I prefer the traditional look. Maybe we're getting old. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. So anyway, Raymond Moore comes in with another question. What function does it have? Well, I just showed you the close-up of the functions. If you tuned in late, then maybe watch back after the broadcast is finished. But this can serve up applications, weather, voice assistants, obviously fitness tracking as well. You can install additional apps onto the watch. You can change watch faces. You've got complications for other things like different time zones. You can also access your appointments. You can get notifications on it. So lots and lots of different functions, including an alarm, which answers the question that you just popped up into the chat there. So really very, very nice. Does this support Android Pay? I haven't got an Android smartphone connected to this, but I would assume it does, but I can't guarantee that answer. I would check on the Fossil website, which there is a link down in the video description to. That should answer your question. There's also a link not only to the Fossil website, but also a link down in the video description to where you can pick up one of these for yourself. You can either pick these up direct from Fossil, or indeed I've left some Amazon links, which are affiliate links, help support the channel a little bit, so you can use any of those links down below. Ishaq Patel says, how does Android Wear compare to Watch OS? I think it compares reasonably well. Having said that, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, the Apple Watch I think would be a better choice. If you're in the Android system, then an Android Wear watch is the definite choice, because the Apple Watch doesn't work with Android. If you're in iOS and looking at an Android Wear watch, then just purchase it knowing that you'll have some limited functionality, because Apple doesn't allow it to communicate with all of the things that the Apple Watch communicates with. So you'll have limited functionality, but you have the option of looking at lots of different Android Wear watches. Fossil will do a lot of different styles, and then you can choose one to suit your style. Whereas if you just say Apple Watch, you've got just the different finishes on them, and they're all pretty much the same internally, and they look pretty much the same. Unless you go for the ceramic white version, of course. Texilla says, sorry if I missed it. Is this running Android Wear 2.0? Yes, I believe it is. And that is pretty much it on the questions for the time being. So before we take some more questions, and before I give you my final opinion on this smartwatch, I'll give you a little bit of an update. My potential switch to Android. At the moment in the studio, I have got no Google Android smartphones. The Note 8 wasn't for me. It went back. I tried it. The Pixel 2 wasn't for me. It was too small. I tried that too. The Huawei Mate 10 Pro, I'm still waiting to hear back from Huawei about potentially reviewing that. The Razer phone, which I keep getting asked about, I would love to have a look at that. I have reached out to them on numerous occasions and haven't even had an email back. Not sure what's going on there. Just an email back saying yes or no would be really cool. Moving on, I have got a Sony Xperia XZ1 Compact coming in, courtesy of Vodafone. Big thank you to them. That will not become my daily driver. That's a loaner, just for a review. And it's probably too small for me anyway. The phone that has piqued my interest at the moment, and again I've reached out to them to hopefully get a review unit, is the HTC U11 Plus. Now, I mentioned this in a previous broadcast. The HTC U11 Plus was destined to become the Google Pixel 2 XL until Google decided to actually go with LG for their larger smartphone, which I think was a big shame, because obviously we've had the screen issues and manufacturer issues of the screen with the LG manufactured Google Pixel 2 XL. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on an HTC U11 Plus. The camera looks as though it will actually perform extremely well, and the screen is traditional LCD. They call it their Super LCD panel, I think. Really nice resolution, nice large 6-inch screen, almost bezel-less, fingerprint on the back. It looks like a really promising smartphone. So hopefully I've got that coming up soon, and that may well be the one that actually becomes my daily driver, unless Huawei step in and actually send me a Mate 10 Pro, because I'm really interested in that as well. That looks like a really nicely specified smartphone. So anyway, let's pop back to the questions. We've got Darren Gator. Hello Darren. The watch looks nice and has some nice functions, but honestly traditional watches will outlast smartwatches. After all, electronic components have a low shelf life compared to mechanical components. Yeah, I tend to agree. I like my traditional wristwatches, my automatic watches primarily, and yet these are pieces of technology, so the electrical components and the newer versions will supersede them. But they also come in at a more affordable price point, and they do add functionality to people's day. You know, I like to just track my activity. Some people like to track their appointments, add on extra apps, really use the fitness based apps on their smartwatches, which just hasn't really got built into it. So a smartwatch is appealing to quite a lot of people. But yeah, you are right. You know, you do need to look at upgrading these when newer and better ones come, or they improve the battery life, or whatever the next generation is going to offer. And that's the same with all technology, whereas traditional wristwatches do have that longevity, and you can even pass them down from generations to generations. Not so much with smartwatches. The local Aussie says, Dave, would you use this Fossil as your primary wristwatch? I'm an Apple fanboy, but always have an open mind. Yeah, I think I would, because I really do like the design and styling on this one a lot better than the Apple Watch. This is more visually appealing for me, even though using it on iOS will give me a little bit more limited functionality. I would see myself looking at this and being, not prouder, that's the wrong word, but being more comfortable wearing something like this with a suit, for example, or jeans and a t-shirt. You can go for the casual wear, but this would look nice and smart as well on those more dressed up occasions. And then put a silicone strap on it, and you can really go out and have a jog and use it as a fitness watch if you didn't want to have the stainless steel bracelet with you when you were exercising. The fact we can quick change the straps out really added benefit to this as well. Techzilla says, I am currently using the Mate 10, which I imported. That is really good to know. The Mate 10 in fact has some specifications or features that are slightly better than the Mate 10 Pro, just to confuse us, including an AMOLED panel, I think. Really nice screen on that one. Peter Westerland, is it water resistant? I think so. Let me just see if I can confirm that. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. It is IP67 water resistant, and you get a 2-year limited warranty, and any 22mm width bracelet or strap will work with this. You don't have to just use the Fossil manufactured bracelets on here. Texilla says, I'm looking forward to the HTC U11 Plus too. It will be a sleeper. I really do agree. Not a lot of carriers have picked up on it. It's going to be available from HTC Direct only in the UK. Not sure about other countries. But it does look really very good indeed. Raymond Moore, Dave, when will iOS 11.2 come out? If it does fix all the issues you have, will you prefer iOS again? It won't fix all the issues. It's probably due out in about 2 to 3 weeks' time at a guess. And it just won't fix all the issues. There'll be a few more bug fixes, but I think that Apple will probably not ever fix the stutters and the performance issues until they refocus, strip out iOS, and give us a really honed in and really slick iOS. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're on this trend at the moment where they're really popular, and all the time that people are voting with their money and purchasing the products from them, they will not fix the smaller, or what they see as the smaller issues. Joe Lang, gutted I can't watch live at work, but will definitely catch up this evening. Thank you very much, Joe. Really do appreciate it. Chris Watson, I have 2 tags in the drawer, but currently wear an Apple Watch. Madness really, but when I don't have my Apple Watch with me and wear my tag, I miss it for payments. Yeah, payments is a good feature on the smartwatches. And I know what you mean. When you wear a traditional watch, then it can take away some of the features that you've grown used to. My answer to that would be to wear your smartwatch on one wrist and your traditional watch on the other. Some people might think you look like a douche, but I won't mind looking like that. I still get asked why I wear two watches. I wear this all the time, and especially when I'm wearing t-shirts in the summer, not so much in the winter or autumn months. When I'm wearing my normal wristwatch on my other wrist, people look at you and think, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, it's my choice. So why not? Why not wear both? Techzilla says he's running iOS 11.2 beta and can confirm that it does not fix all the issues. So there's your answer to that earlier question, which is a shame, is a bit of a shame. So anyway, that is it for this live broadcast. Before I finish up, just my final opinion on the Fossil Q Explorer. I think it's a really nice looking smartwatch. Yes, the battery life could be better in all smartwatches, but this one manages a full day on a single charge. I think the case is very, very nice. I love the knurled bezel, even though it doesn't turn. The screen, really nice quality. And the bracelet, which is often overlooked, really nice quality as well. For the price, I think this is a really good offering when it comes to looking for a smartwatch. And I would say it's worth you heading on over to the Fossil website and having a look for yourself. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, because I do this pretty much every single day. I'll see you in another one very soon.